So I stayed up until midnight and listened to Chromatica by Lady Gaga, which is her sixth studio album, and I was blown away. It's phenomenally beautiful and cathartic, and it is making me relive the same type of rebellious catharsis I experienced when I listened to Born This Way for the first time way a long time ago, and in some ways art pop, because both of those albums were very much about like self-expression, self-acceptance, and rebellion against the powers that try to cage us. So this is going to be my review of the album, and I'm going to focus largely on the songs that aren't singles right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be talking about the structure of the album, the different instrumental and vocal dynamics of the album, and then I'm going to talk about like some lyrical stuff and some things that, involve meaning. This may not be in any necessary order because it's late and I'm excited and I'm definitely feeling a high right now from listening to this album. So to begin, this album starts off in its first section. So each section of the album begins with an instrumental that Gaga and colleagues composed, which is a very unique thing because you don't normally see this for pop albums. You normally just see this for like rock albums from like bands, so on and so forth. One of my favorite bands, Evanescence, they do instrumental transitions between songs in much of their albums. So this was very familiar to me that Gaga chose to do this, and it was making me nerd out a little bit. But each transitions into songs that are themed around various things. So the first section of the album, which contains songs like Stupid Love and Rain on Me, to me are songs about self-realization and the significance of initiating recovery from experienced traumas. The second section of the album, I'm reading some notes here, is essentially fortification or calling out the trauma, giving it a name, acknowledging it. And the third section is about resolution or healing, whether it be calling out the evils or finding, love and accepting it, or maybe recognizing, healing and overcoming trauma along with someone else, like experiencing it with someone else, that mutual healing. So I want to touch on a few of the songs. So the first song that really stood out to me was the first track of the album, which is Alice. So Alice, it's this dark sounding song. It's very dark sounding, but it also has like some 90s house / pop beats to it, and it's so catchy. Like the chorus, like it might be my favorite chorus from the album, along with Rain on Me and Sour Candy. But it really kind of paints this picture of the fact that after experiencing all of this trauma, Gaga is looking for something. She doesn't know what she's looking for. It might be unrealistic, but she knows that she needs to keep looking for it regardless. But to me, like the chorus just sounded like this like gothy, grungy, like higher octave type of thing, which really made my senses tingle. So the next song that I really wanted to touch on was Free Woman. So really standout lyrics from this song would be, I'm still nothing if I don't got a man. This is the dance floor I fought for. So this is a very common thing that we've heard from Gaga lately. She's been referencing this lyric, and this song is definitely a disco ballad with some like 90s house influences, and it's about her recognizing the fact that she is freeing herself from those prior traumas, one of those traumas being the fact that she is a survivor of sexual assault. So that song was definitely empowering. The next song, I think it's the next song, let me look at my notes here. The next song, Fun Tonight, is what I would identify as the Hair of the album. So Hair was a song about self-realization and self-acceptance from Born This Way, and I felt like Fun Tonight was that. It has a very similar sound to Hair, and it's a song about letting go, in a way, just letting go and just having fun. And I think that it was very moving as well. It's very interesting and poignant that it picked up after where Free Woman left off. So that marks the end of the first section of the album. The next section of the album has some very like rigorous sounding music, very like distinct beats, and like a lot of techno in a way, EDM influences. And a lot of the other ones have too, but this section more so. So the middle section of the album is about calling out that trauma, and it begins with the song 911, which is largely about her mental health and a medication, so on and so forth. And it emphasizes the fact that my biggest enemy is me since day one. That's one of the lyrics. And it's a very painful song. I can tell it's a painful song, but it's also a song about, like, to me, like, it's pushing through that pain by calling it out, by calling out the fact that in many ways, like, she was her own enemy at times, and that's anybody with mental health struggles, not anybody, that's a generalization, many people with mental health struggles also have the same realization. So Plastic Doll largely is about female empowerment and calling out materialisticness. This is the song that has a lot of techno influences, and I can tell that Skrillex had some sort of influence on it. And one of the lyrics, "I'm no toy for a real boy," I just love it. It's a fun song. Replay is another song after that. It's, to me, definitely a song about ideation, like suicidal ideation. Every single day I dig a grave and sit inside to see if I'll behave. To me, like, it's calling out those dark thoughts that she was having. And again, very powerful. I could relate to it. I actually cried during that song, even though it doesn't really sound like a song one would cry to. So the last and final portion of the album, which is the portion where there is resolution, where she accepts healing, it begins with the song Sine from Above. And Sine from Above is a song, I think it was co-written with Ryan Tedder as well, who is the lead singer of OneRepublic, and it features Elton John. It's a very unique song. It definitely has some EDM disco-y vibes, and it's something that I wouldn't expect to hear Elton John's voice with, but it actually works. So they are basically in this song kind of like bouncing back and forth, sharing their mutual struggles in order to help create a sense of mutual healing. Notable aspect of the song is there's a pretty crazy drum solo at the end, which I thought was a very unique addition. I may have to give it a listen again to see if I can process that a little bit more. 1000 Doves is definitely a ballad about kind of like falling in love and accepting that love, which I thought was very empowering to me. It kind of was the Edge of Glory type of song of this album. And then last but not least, Babylon. I wasn't expecting Babylon to be this way, and at first I was startled by it, but now I think I love it. But Babylon is definitely like this anti-gossip song. It's a play on words, so Babylon, babble on, like, oh, you can continue babbling on about me. It has saxophone in it. It has loon cries. Like, in my mind, I envision this song as being a bitch slap. The song is a bitch slap to haters. And I think it would be a phenomenal song to have on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's just me. So another song that I didn't mention yet was Enigma, and that was during the second portion of the album. I absolutely loved it. It definitely has much more of a disco influence. I need to go back and re-listen to it again. But anyway, my favorites. I love Rain on Me, Sour Candy, Alice, and I really, really enjoyed Plastic Doll, Sine from Above, and 1000 Doves. I'm probably in a future video going to talk about what I think my top 5 songs are, but those are the ones that I really enjoyed. So, if you were a Gaga fan, or if you were just a general music appreciator and you listen to this album, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be talking about this more, and keep listening to this album. This album is definitely a healing journey. It's a journey of self-realization and dancing off all of that trauma and all of that pain. And it's so cathartic, especially during these very difficult times. So, Gaga, thank you. I love you dearly, and I hope you're doing well. And I hope that you are enjoying listening to this album with us, too. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day, my friends. Bye.